So as many of you probably know, the Electoral College map is changing right in front of our eyes. We are having such a dramatic shift in the Electoral College that it's time we start discussing, can Republicans win the future Electoral College map? Is it possible? How do they do it? Etc. Now, there's been a couple of videos on this subject before the election, before even 2020, from a couple different channels. But I want to do a post-2022 election update to see where can Republicans or Democrats pick up some ground in the Electoral College. And we'll be discussing some myth, theories, etc. about certain states. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter account in the description down below, and join the channel today. Everybody knows what to do. In the description down below, there's a beautiful, big, blue join button. If you click that join button down below right now, just for 10 cents a day, you can join Real American Politics. Only 10 cents a day. That helps support the daily content on this channel. So I hope you join today. Alright, folks, let's get into the future Electoral College map, and can Republicans win in the future? So these are the states that we're going to kind of discuss in detail. How are they looking in the future? Can Republicans win them? Etc. So we got to start in the great state of Nevada. Now, if there was a slow trending state that's trending slower than freaking molasses, that is the state of Nevada. If you don't know the past couple election cycles since 2012, the state's shifted 1 to 2 points Republican each cycle. 1-2 points here, 1-2 points there, 1-2 points there, etc. It's shifting slowly Republican. And as time goes on, Republicans are getting a better ceiling, or I should say a better floor in the state of Nevada. And as time goes by, it's very slow, but if the recent governor's election is any indicator, plus the Senate race, it appears Nevada is trending towards the Republican column. Now the question is, when will it fully flip to the Republicans? I would say late 2020s. I would say 2028. You're going to see Nevada finally get over the hump and be kind of like a lean to likely Republican state in the future. It's just when you start looking at it, Democrats are not expanding anywhere. I mean, they're doing slightly better in Reno, while the rest of the state is either maxed out for Republicans or is Clark County, which is where Las Vegas is, and that's shifting Republican. You start doing the math and you realize this is getting harder for Democrats to win. I mean, they won 2022 through means, but any other case, Nevada, in my opinion, in the future, is looking more and more like that Republican state. Oh boy, Arizona. This is a tricky one. This is a super duper duper tricky state to look at. Looking just at the 2022 results, it's not looking too good for Republicans in the state of Arizona. That being said, however, there still is some signs of hope in the state of Arizona. Not massive signs, but there is some signs of hope. For example, it appears the trends in Phoenix, even Tucson, they're starting to slow down. They're not accelerating like we expect them to. They're kind of just stagnating. As for the rest of the state, there is some room to grow for Republicans. So I do think Arizona is going to be that next pure purple state. Whoever wins Arizona is probably going to win the presidential election. That's the type of state we're talking about with Arizona now. I think just with the trends, it's going to be hard to tell because, again, just because we lost these seats in 2022, there still is some signs that a lot of these trends we're seeing in Phoenix, they're slowing down. So in Tucson, and it looks like we got some rural precincts still to grow. So it's going to be a close one. Now, this is our controversial state, Texas. Here's what I will say. I think Democrats are starting to realize it's not looking good for them. It's Texas. There's some of them talking about just stop it. Beto lost twice. 2018 was their best shot. Like, that was the pinnacle moment in Texas electoral future. If Beto won that seat, we probably are talking about a pure toss-up right now. But this cycle did not go good for Democrats in Texas. They got walloped. And I know it's a lot of state lower-level elections and all, but still, for a state that's trending Democrat, they did not do good at all in nearly any of the seats outside of Cuellar and the Rio Grande Valley. That's about it. And even then, it's a matter of time before Cuellar goes away, before he retires and the Rio Grande Valley does fully flip. And we did see some good trends for Republicans in the Houston area, parts of Dallas, San Antonio even, just kind of, Austin. It's still trending Democrat, but you start realizing you're like, okay, where else can Democrats get some votes from? They're going to max out in Austin eventually. And it looks like they maxed out in Houston. Dallas, we just got to see. With the Rio Grande Valley trends, it's looking good for Republicans. It is looking decent for Republicans in the state of Texas. Now, how long will this hold? Was it a fluke in 2022? We just got to see in 2024. If Trump's on the ticket, he wins the state of Texas by 6-7 points, I think Texas is fine. Democrats are starting to admit it's looking kind of bad for them in the state of Texas. Now, Nebraska's second. It's only a matter of time. Don Bacon, he almost lost the seat. If he almost loses this seat, good luck holding on to it in the future. I think Bacon only won because of it being more of a Republican year. Now, it wasn't a best year, but still, if Bacon struggles, you're in deep trouble in Nebraska's second. It's a matter of time before that seat flips. Now, Wisconsin. At this point, it was a disappointment. Don't get me wrong in Wisconsin. But some of the exit poll data indicates it was merely a turnout problem for Republicans in the state of Wisconsin. I mean, Ron Johnson, all right, he only won. This is funny enough. He only won because he got a lot of those Feingold Trump voters to vote for him. If you don't know, in 2016, Feingold did pretty good in the Driftless area. The reason Ron Johnson held on was he did slightly better in Waukesha, but he ran it up in the rest of the state. So I do think with it being a turnout problem for a lot of counties in Wisconsin for Republicans, and the fact that a lot of these precincts and counties, they're not going to keep voting 50-50. I mean, if Ron Johnson did that good in some of those counties, which they're the most Trumpy counties in the country, if he's starting to do good there, I think at this point a lot of people are admitting, or not blue, it's a matter of time before Wisconsin gets into that Republican category. It's a matter of time at this point. 2022 was a disappointment. But even then, Ron Johnson held on. Republicans got a supermajority nearly in both chambers. And they did pretty good other statewide elections. Just Tim Michels, my man. With Tim Michels, what happened? And I'm going to make a video on this because this pissed me off when I heard this. There were GOP boomer voters that voted vehemently for Ron Johnson, but vehemently for Evers also? Why? So there'll be a whole video on that soon. It's just mind-boggling what happened in Wisconsin. F's in chat for Tim Michels, my man. I feel terrible about that. Now we're getting to the other good states, Michigan and Pennsylvania. Now, Michigan, I think there's some hope for Republicans in Michigan. Now, 2022 was a disaster for the state of Michigan for Republicans. But Whitmer, I think she turned out to be a lot stronger than we expected, first of all. Second of all, surprisingly, there's still a lot of room to grow in Michigan. There is a lot of room, like in Macomb County, parts of Wayne County, etc. There are a lot of precincts and counties that Republicans have a lot of room to grow in. As for Democrats, they still got Kent County growing a little bit. So I think as of now, we're looking at Michigan as another one of those 50-50, maybe leaning a bit Democrat category. But we just got to see for now. I think it's going to be a toss-up, though. 2024, we just got to see, bud. You start looking at some of these counties, there's room to grow for both sides. We just got to see. Now, Pennsylvania, I'm getting kind of black-pilled on. Look, yes, there's parts of northeastern Pennsylvania for Republicans are growing. Some parts of western PA, like Westmoreland, parts of the Pittsburgh area. But here's a problem for Republicans. It doesn't matter when you still got white working-class Italians in Philadelphia still voting like they did 10 years ago. I should say a bit more Republican, but nowhere near as Republican as they should. And this is a problem that we have to deal with. We are not reaching these urban, white working-class voters. Yes, rural areas are nice, but people just forget that white working-class voters exist in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, I'm not saying this is a blue state at all. There still is room for the growth for Republicans. But man, those results this cycle, they were not pretty. But I still think we just got to see what happens in 2024. That's really going to indicate Pennsylvania's future. So yeah, I think Pennsylvania in the future will be this toss-up state. North Carolina, the eternal lean-R state. Ted Budd did decent there. He did underperform maybe by like a half to a point, but he still did pretty good there. Republicans in North Carolina are competent, and Democrats have invested ungodly amounts of money to flipping that state, and nothing has worked. 2008 was a fluke, and I doubt it happens for a long time. So yeah, I think North Carolina looking decent for Republicans. Now we got Georgia. Ooh, boy. I don't think there's much to say here. It's a matter of time. I don't care if Brian Kemp. The only way this state can be saved is if Brian Kemp turns into DeSantis, piss off a lot of the liberals that live in Atlanta to move to, like, freaking Colorado. That's the only way he could save Georgia at this point. So, yeah, kind of red-pilled on the status of Georgia, or black-pilled, I should say. So, yeah, Georgia, it's a matter of when. Now we get Florida. I forgot the... I almost forgot that for a second. There's not much to say here. That state's gone for the Democrats. No matter who you run, you can run Joe Blow down the street. He would win the state of Florida by a lot. Florida is the new Texas. And this, folks, I would say is the current state or the future state of the electoral map. That states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, they're going to be the ones that decide the election. Nevada, it's trending Republican. Wisconsin, North Carolina, they're trending Republican. Texas, I just don't know where Democrats can grow anymore. I truly think with all the Roe vs. Wade stuff that happened, a lot of people were talking about how it may have hurt us short term. Like, you could make an argument in some states. Yes, it did hurt Republicans, maybe. But long term, it may have saved Texas, may have helped the state of Georgia, because a lot of these leftists that just worship abortion left these states. And I do think with abortion in the long term, maybe that's there were results that were fluky in Michigan and Pennsylvania, maybe because of an abortion stuff. But we just gotta see. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.